Hello everyone, I hope you are well. Welcome to today's video, which is all about the Macan EV 4S. So you may be wondering how a car like this ends up on a channel entitled Attainable Luxury, with a price range starting at $79,900 for the base up to $111,000 for the turbo. But give it a couple years and when these cars go off of lease, they will be at a much more affordable price point. And let's remember, we are talking about Porsche. But are these cars worth the wait? Well, that's a question I'm going to attempt to answer today. So the car behind me is a 4S. One of the complaints about the base and the 4 is the less than invigorating acceleration. That is not an issue with the 4S with its 509 horsepower and its 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds. This car is plenty fast, and often I have to check my speed because acceleration is so smooth and seamless. So now let's take a closer look at the 4S. Starting with the exterior, this paint color is ice gray metallic. This is an upgraded color and will cost you $720, which actually pales in comparison to some of the other color options. I think this is a very pretty color. It's unique. Depending on the lighting, it can tend towards more white, and in other lighting, it definitely looks more gray. Moving on to the headlights, these are your daytime running and your signal indicator lights here on the top. Down here are your LED matrix design headlights, which are part of the premium package. Moving down to the wheels, these are a 21-inch Macan turbo wheel. The base wheel is a 20-inch wheel. If you like these are going to run you an additional $2,800. There are multiple wheel selections on the Porsche website, and we won't go into all of them, but if you are concerned about range, these are probably one of the better ones to go with, or you stick with the 20-inch wheel. Speaking of upgrades, you probably see here the high gloss black on the mirrors, the handles, the side rails, and the roof rail. These options already came with this car. I did not select them. I do think they're a beautiful addition. However, they do come with a price. Moving to the back, you have two sets of charging ports, both on the rear of the car. You simply push to open. On the passenger side, this charging port is for AC only. The charging port on the driver's side is both DC, which is the fast charging, and AC. And you know the difference because the DC charging has the two additional prongs at the bottom. One interesting fact is that because both charging ports are in the rear of the car, when you use public charging stations, you may find you have to back into your spot. I've noticed other EVs have the charging ports in the front, so they simply can just pull in forwards. It's possible there could be enough cord to extend the length of the car, but I have not tried to do that yet. So far, I haven't had any issues backing my car into public stations, but I could see a situation where you have two cars on both sides, you're having to back into a tight spot where it could be a little bit more challenging. So just something to be aware of, both charging ports are in the rear of the vehicle. While we're back here, let's take a look at the rear. You have this light bar that extends across. Looks really eye-catching at night. Your Porsche badge, a little loud, but it is what it is. Your spoiler, which extends when your speeds reach approximately 34 miles per hour, and it has a rear windshield wiper. That is an option. So now let's take a look at the cargo space. There is a decent amount of cargo room in this car. I previously had a Cayenne, and I will say that that car did have additional cargo space. One interesting fact is that this EV is longer than the gas-engined Macan. And while I don't necessarily see the space here in the cargo area, you do see it in the passenger seats with some additional legroom. Now there's also some storage in the front, so let's take a look. So as you can see, there's some decent space in here. It's actually pretty deep. I keep the bag for the mobile charger in here, and it fits perfectly. To close it, just like on the other Porsche models, you push it to close. So now let's take a look at the interior. So this car has the premium package, which adds 14-way power adjustable front seats with heat and ventilation, heated rear seats, 4-zone automatic climate control, and the Bose stereo. We have the leather package in black, which will run you $1,000. And this car also comes with the Porsche crest on the headrest in the front and the rear. And although they are beautiful, I don't know that they're worth the $630. So seated here in the driver's seat, on the left, you have your push start. Your shifter is up here on the right. It is out of the way, which enables more cargo space here, which I really appreciate. This steering wheel is a GT Sport steering wheel in leather, and it is heated. It is beautifully stitched, nice and smooth. There are absolutely beautiful materials in this car without question. Of course, you have your Porsche badge here in the middle. You can make phone calls hands-free here, and of course toggle through other options. What I would point out, this button here. This is your regen button. So with Porsche electric cars, you have the option to turn this on or off. I generally have it off unless I am in stop and go traffic. The regen will cause the car to naturally slow down, and you definitely feel it. It's not a gradual slowdown. You feel it immediately when you take your foot off the gas. I personally prefer to coast. So if I am on open road, I turn this button off, allow myself to coast. And keep in mind, when you use the brake, you get some regen that way too. Moving down here to your drive modes, you turn this to the right and to the left for different drive modes. You have your normal, your Sport Plus. This is where the air suspension comes in because it will raise or lower it depending on the setting. Moving up here, there are multiple options to choose from. We are not going to go through all of that. It would probably be its own separate video with a number of options to choose from. If you're interested in learning more about the options, I'm happy to do a separate video. For me, I absolutely wanted to have the battery level here, my speed here, and of course you have all sorts of other options on this side too, but all of this can be personalized as you like. Here you have your touch screen. Again, this is where you select all your options. Very responsive touch screen, nice and clear. Google Maps on here, your music, Apple CarPlay, of course, Android Auto. Down here, this is where I charge my phone. I use a cord. They do have a built-in charger in here, but because of my phone case, it doesn't connect well. Here are your temperature controls. You have heated and cooled seats. This is your volume. You can also control this on your steering wheel. One thing I like about this setup, while there is some touch points here, you have buttons. So there's a combination of both, which I like. Down here you have your cup holders, and you have a little cubby space here. Moving back here, again, a little bit more storage in here, and it's actually pretty deep. Over on the doors, you have your seat settings. You can adjust your mirrors, your windows, open your trunk, open your front space. And then down here, there's another little cubby space where I put a pair of sunglasses down here. And let's not forget the clock, the signature feature of Porsche. I really think these should come standard in their cars. Unfortunately, it does not. So if you want this clock, this will be an upgrade. Up here, you've got your lighting options. This does have the panoramic sunroof. Can move up, slide all the way back. Overall impressions, very clean, not complicated. Yes, the initial setup will be a bit of a learning curve, but I do like the combination of both touchscreen with some buttons and knobs. In terms of driving experience, this car is second to none. It has excellent handling, it's nimble, refined. The acceleration is impressive. It's solidly constructed and quiet. If you are someone like me who was concerned that going to an EV, I would miss the sound of the Porsche engine. And I have to say, even though I've only had this for a short time, I have enjoyed the quiet serenity that is driving this car. Now, if I really have that need for a sports engine sound, I still have my 986, which I do enjoy driving, but as a daily driver, the Macan EV is a no-brainer. But is it right for you? That's obviously a very personal choice. I think it's definitely one to consider if you have a shorter commute like I do. For me, my commute is about 20 to 25 miles round trip. I use a total of 4% of the battery. Now, of course, there are factors that weigh into the usage. For example, using the air conditioning. When I first got this car, we had some really warm days, and when I had the air conditioning running, it definitely used more of the battery. The EPA estimated range is 288 to 315 miles. I have not had this car long enough to really speak intelligently about range. In my limited experience, it's done a great job. But again, factors like air conditioning did impact my usage. Another thing to consider is your surrounding area. Does it offer support for this technology? How many chargers are in your location? Are you able to charge the car at home in your garage? So these are all factors to consider before buying an EV. But if you are leaning towards an EV, the Macan is definitely one to consider, whether it's the base, the 4S, or the turbo. You really can't go wrong. And if now's not the time because of the price point, give it a couple years, and you may find you are able to get into one of these beautiful cars at a much lower price point. Well, I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them below. And as I explore this car and take it for longer trips, I can come back with updates on the range and the charging experience and whether I still recommend this car. Well, thank you for being here. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.